Essentially, what HOP is aiming to do is it is aiming to help an organization understand that there is more to operational excellence than simply compliance. Hey, thanks for joining me on this video. However you came across this, I want to explain a little bit about what is HOP, or human and organizational performance. Where did it come from? Why do we use it? And why is it a big deal in our operation? First of all, HOP stands for human and organizational performance. It was derived and has adapted out of a business methodology called human performance improvement that was developed. Hey, Addie, coming to check us out. It was Human performance improvement was developed by the Department of Energy in the United States. They adapted the concepts and the principles from INPO, the International Nuclear Power Operators. Essentially, what HOP is aiming to do is it is aiming to help an organization understand that there is more to operational excellence than simply compliance. For so many years and throughout the history of business and organizations, the number one tool for organizations to ensure operational excellence has been compliance. The nuclear power operators felt that this was true up to the 3 Mile Isle disaster. As soon as the 3 Mile Isle disaster happened, they got together and they realized, hey, we have to try to do things a little bit differently because we have this human component in our operation. And anytime we are dealing with humans, we are going to be dealing with an element of human error. And if we don't have a strategy to combat human error and human mistakes, then we are really failing our operations and our goal towards operational excellence. Human and organizational performance aims to understand what it takes to get humans performing optimally and what it takes to get organizations operating optimally. So when we combine the two, we get human and organizational performance. And HOP is based primarily on 5 principles. Principle number 1, humans are fallible and even the best people make mistakes. Principle number 2, error-likely situations are predictable, manageable, and preventable. Principle number 3, individual behavior is largely driven by organizational processes and values. Principle number 4, people achieve their level of optimal performance based on the feedback received by leaders, peers, and subordinates. Principle number 5, I'm not going to be able to get this one perfect, but essentially, we as an organization can prevent future mistakes by taking the lessons learned from past incidents or errors and applying them to our business. These 5 principles are the foundation of human and organizational performance. At Grit USA and Grit UK, we like to really emphasize another concept when we talk about human and organizational performance, and that is organizational drift. If a business or an organization doesn't understand and have a strategy to manage and investigate organizational drift, it will fall short. It will fail. An organizational drift is this concept and this idea that there is always a difference between work is imagined and work is done. Or some people have said work is designed and work is executed. However you want to say it, there's always a difference between the way your boss thinks you do your job and the way you actually have to do your job, right? We can all relate to that. We've all had jobs like that. The difference is what we call drift. Now, some people see this difference and they think, well, compliance is the answer. Just get people to adhere to the rules, adhere to the plan, adhere to the strategy, and we'll be better. The problem is, this doesn't account for failing systems. If you think about the natural world around us, all systems are in a state of degradation. And there's nothing we can do about that, except to maintain things, right? Do preventative maintenance, try to extend the life of our systems. There are 2 different types of systems within our operations. Our physical systems, like our machines, our plant, everything we can touch, and our social systems. These are the rules and the policies. that guide the way we behave at our organization. These two types of systems are in a constant state of degradation. And because of this degradation, our people are constantly adapting and innovating and overcoming challenges in our operation to ensure that we deliver the things we ask them to deliver. Without organizational drift, our businesses wouldn't operate. Our businesses would never be profitable. Think about it. If you laid out the perfect plan for your week and only did what you set out on that plan for the week, how far into the week would you get before you had to stop? Could you actually build a perfect procedure for your week at work? The same goes for our operations. The same goes for our production teams. We can never build a perfect procedure and a perfect plan because we can't anticipate all of the variables that are going to happen in the natural world. Things just happen. What does Murphy's Law say? If something can go wrong, it will at the exact wrong moment. So this always happens. Organizational drift is something that we have to understand and we have to not necessarily combat, but manage. We have to have a strategy for what we're going to do with organizational drift. We will get into, in detail, organizational drift in a later video. I just want to introduce you to this idea that there's always a difference between the way your boss thinks you do your job and the way you have to do your job. So these two different concepts, the 5 principles and organizational drift, are at the core of human and organizational performance, or HOP. And when we understand these and we can apply the tools that are based in the principles and based in organizational drift to our business and what we do every day, what we see is organizations transform. Organizations become more productive. Organizations become better places to work. Culture transform. Not only does culture transform, but business outcomes transform. Profitability, productivity, safety, whatever you want to measure, when organizations fully adopt and implement HOP, their businesses transform. But this transformation is not just about applying a new set of tactics and doing specific things differently. This business methodology of HOP is about understanding principles and principles-based leadership and principles-based management. This is completely transformative. Because if an organization can understand the difference between principles-based leadership and tactics-based leadership, it will completely change your culture. That was my experience. It was my co-founder, Teresa Mullins' experience. It's everybody here that works at Grit has had this experience, this transformational experience in applying HOP into what we did every day. And now our jobs are to help you and the world understand how transformational HOP can be for your organization. I really hope this helps give a real brief introduction to what HOP is, why it's beneficial, and maybe why you might want to learn more. If you do want to learn more, check out some of our other videos. We go into a little more detail into some of these different concepts. You can follow us, subscribe, reach out to us directly. Check our website out at getthegrit.com. We have open courses available for people in the US and the UK. We'd love for you to join us and learn more in depth about these principles and different concepts that we teach in HOP. Chasing every dollar, coaches broken teams hollow.